So, my experience on Earth, summarized, is as followed. I was born on November 29th, 1991. That's when I came into this earth. But really, that date was created. That was a manufactured date. Like, that date doesn't really exist. It's just a way of human record to keep track of time. But outside of us creating a record of months and years and all of that, when I came to Earth, really has no significance whatsoever. It just happens to be when I suddenly woke up, I suddenly had conscious, I suddenly was birthed. And that happens to a lot of people, billions, over and over and over again. Some people don't even make it. They have complications in how their body functions, and I guess that's just the natural evolution. My childhood wasn't the most terrible in terms of what they tell you to be grateful for, because I was born in America, but people will soon discover America has a shit ton of problems, and they're just piling up, and we're just pushing them to the fucking side. But the genuine people, the people that really care and decide to be true, we deal with that mountain of rejected red flags, while everyone else lives this pretend game, momentarily at least. And I was raised in a very narcissistic family structure. In the house I was raised in under my dad, he had a lot of emotional immaturity. He's a great worker. I give him credit for providing for the family as far as taking care of 5 kids. He and my mom, I never knew them together. It was kind of their own deal. I don't really know what happened. Children who do not have both their parents, they do. It's something that, if you really care about humanity, that we need to address. Got to figure out how to figure that out. And the reason I'm saying this is because all I believe that I am, is just a manifestation of the universe experiencing life through a human body. Or in other ways, the universe will experience itself through an animal, through a tree, through the wind. That's my concept of a creator. And then you go to school, which is a structure that society built to try to control our environment. And I think in many ways the attempt is sincere. And then also I think it was hijacked by greedy people who have a lust for power and superiority, and certain parts of humanity are ruthless. We never got rid of them. It's a big insecurity game. It's just humanity is a fucking mess, man. And there are only so many ways that are sustainable enough for me to want to continue to live in society. So my childhood, I was born in 91, then my childhood, I was raised around a bunch of narcissists that made me feel bad about things that I shouldn't have felt bad about. And that takes a long time to recover from. You may not ever recover from that. Then I got into a relationship because I thought that's what I was supposed to do, because that's what everyone else was doing. I was I followed religion for years and all that stuff, just like what we all do. And High school's a joke, pretty much. Everyone wants to play by the rules, but the rules are actually hurting people. So if you rebel against the rules and do something good for yourself, it's a catch-22 because it comes at the expense of you looking like you're rebellious, or people who don't think you're playing by the rules that they played by will be mad at you and causes disruption. It's just a big conflict. Life is just a big conflict. And then you have to go to work to be able to do what? To keep building society up for someone else. Instead of it being for all of us, someone else owns it all and they just stay at the top. You never really have a chance to get there. If you do, it's more by happenstance than it is by sheer will and determination and really opportunity or availability. But everyone else is convinced otherwise. It's just America isn't as great as they think that people think that it is. At least not in my experience of the world. It was not as great as what people told me that it was. Women just want your attention. They want you to pay attention to them, but people really don't care about one another. Like, they do as far as they care about themselves, but they don't really care about one another. And this video is going to go well over 5 minutes, but it also it may be my last video. I don't know. Just, I've had so much taken from me. I'm just getting tired of getting stuff taken from me, but it's not going to stop because we live in a society that is taught to compete and to take from you so that they can succeed. Now, it seems extreme, but really, if you take the nature of everything you do, it's to take from others some way or somehow, because you can't win without someone losing simultaneously. It's the only way. Otherwise, you wouldn't win. You would just be. It can't be a win without a loss. Well, I'm starting to realize that I'm on the side of life that where humanity is kind of lost. And I've overcome a lot of stuff, and I've climbed the mountains, and you know, I've been proud of myself in good moments. I just don't have this. I don't see what the way that I want to live. There's too many obstacles in that path. I would want to get a van, go survive out in nature, and be done. And I've tried that. I got a girlfriend. Her name was Brittany. It's my son's mom. I have a kid with her. And Benjamin, if you're watching this, I had every intention to do things differently, but I guess life works out its own way. I just want you to know that multiple people went out of their way to keep me from being your father, keep me from being involved in your life. And they made all types of justifications and excuses, and it was such a major disrespect. It was the hardest thing I had to overcome. But overcoming it, I don't know that I ever really did. I just got used to living with it. Think about that. It's just the way that I was talked to, just for being your dad, just for thinking I should have a right to you. So that's what I'm talking about. People are taught to take from you so that they can win. And I've had a lot taken from me. And then I tried to fix that with another girl, and she broke my heart. Her name's Alicia. She would do things like fuck me 3 days in a row, and then she went to Florida while I was watching her dog, and then she fucked another guy, and he got her pregnant, and then she had an abortion, and then there's just this big old thing, and it's just a big attention-seeking deal, and she never admitted to any of her wrongs, and there was another thing where I was like, well, I have to take emotional accountability. Can't blame her for everything, and that was hard to overcome. And then I moved to Denver and Colorado because I was depressed and wanted to commit suicide, which always stayed in my background. But I found moments of happiness, and I got on top of the mountain. I went to Colorado, climbed, and it was a thrill. And that's all I ever really found my life was when I was in nature, because that's all I really am. I'm a manifestation of the universe. Capitalism, man. People will take your money. They'll make you pay for things. It's just that we live under a bunch of rules about people. It's like no one's really free, and everyone's just kind of okay with that. But I'm not. I'm not okay with that. And I feel like death is the only freedom that I have. It's the only thing that will actually set me free. So I was going to move to Colorado again. I got a job offer for SCP, and I was like, oh, here's my way out. This is my ticket out of Oklahoma. Because it collapsed with another girl named Lindsay, and we were doing so well, and I swore we were going to make it. And after I got 3 jobs in Denver, after things were collapsing, she just said she wasn't happy and then left and never talked to me again. I saw her one time, but she wasn't expecting that. And if I would not have seen her then, she would have never talked to me again. And I'm just like, why do people do that? Why are they so disrespectful? Don't they know that that hurts, that causes damage to the person that they lived with? And you have to live with these things every day. And you try to get over them over and over and over again. And you find happiness, you find parts of happiness, you find parts of joy. But what goes up comes down. And I'm just like, it's hard to find the middle ground living in America because it's so money driven and competitive. It's just not the world for me. And I don't even know what the purpose of life is, ultimately. So that kind of fast forwards us to today. And this is just me rolling with the punches. And I work at AT&T, and I'm supposed to get paid today. But my paycheck, instead of being like $700, which is going to get me through, because I bought a van and I was going to try to fix it up to get out of here, but the motor locked up, and I just paid $3,000. I just spent $3,000 on it, and it's done. It's gone. And I'm like out of money. So I was like, well, but I have income. But I got paid $47 today because they took out $700 from my medical. And I'm just, that's, you can't get away from that kind of stuff. I've tried. And if I can, then I gave up too soon. But it's not even about giving up or whatever. It's just deciding when it's like my consciousness. Maybe it's time for me to go. It's kind of my synopsis of life. A lot of people play this pretend. It's not really who they are. It's egocentric. It's who they think they should be. And I don't want any part in that game anymore. So I was sitting here, it's like 3 a.m., maybe it's 4 a.m., and I was like, I'm just going to make a video while this is on my heart, and maybe this would be the last record of just me displaying my thoughts for whatever they're worth. But it may be time for me to go. I'm just not satisfied here. You understand? Whoever's watching this, you understand I'm not satisfied. So I've thought this through. It's not like poor me, pity me. It's just life. The structure, the way that it's set up, is not actually the way that our nature is inclined to live. So every day I have to fight a fucking structure that is against our own freedom that's given to us by the universe. And we told each other that I get to tell you what to do. And that sounds good. And it sounds good, it sounds protective. But it's really comes with its own set of problems. And I think we're starting to experience that. There's a school shooting every other week, tensions with North Korea, and those have always gone on. Those will always go on. But humans are ruthless. They're the real monsters. And I really don't believe in humanity. I don't. So a lot of people do. I used to. But I don't believe in it anymore. So maybe my death will be a contribution to bettering humanity. But either way, when you don't want to live, you just don't want to live. I've tried, man. I've fought. And that was one thing I told myself. I would fight and at least try to make a life that made me want to live. But I keep coming up to these bullshit things that just, they make it unnecessarily difficult for me to move forward. And now I'm out of money. I don't have any money. $47. Now maybe I go to work tomorrow and I talk to my boss and I say, hey, why was there $800 taken out of my paycheck for medical? But do you see, what the fuck? Why should I even have to do that? I have to do all these things. I had to go to court just to try to get rights to my son, and then I had to fight his mom and all of the pettiness and all of her disrespect, and I came away with nothing. And then I tried to make a relationship work with a narcissistic woman, and out of all of the turmoil and all the emotion, I came away with nothing. I mean, you have valuable lessons as far as learning, but don't forget about the damage that came with that. And I live with that every day. Every day I live with that. I can feel it in my soul. It's a scar. It's like I walk around with an emotional limp because my legs have been broken. So tried to be artistic and express my soul to the world as an act of service. There's a lot of things I've put on my Instagram, on my social media. I created an email for my son. If you're watching this, Benjamin, I mean, you don't really know me. We never really will. I did leave a lot of notes for you, and I did my best, but you are resilient. You do not have to do anything because or not because of me. You're able to make your own choices. You have your own consciousness, and you can live life however you want to. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe getting everything taken from me. It's not the life that I wanted to live. It's not what I planned to live. It's not what I was expecting to live. So I'm just very fed up with humans. I'm sick of capitalism, sick of everybody treating money like a fucking god. And the things that people are doing to other people just for another fucking dollar. It is destroying our lives, the quality of our lives. And for some fucking reason, millions of people are just okay with that. Because they think the value is in the amount of time you spend living. But it's not in the amount of time, it's the quality of the time that you're able to live outside of your ego and flow with the harmony of the universe. And that's why I have no problem exiting, because it's like, that's all I exist. I'll just return, and perhaps what I did while I was here will be my legacy. And I guess at that point, with where I'm going, it doesn't really matter. But I wanted to at least record this because I feel like that was the right thing to do. And then how I'm going to respond from here, who knows, man. I'm tired of the fucking fight of life. And I've been saying that for months now, so it's just nothing new. And it's not even a goodbye. It's just, this was always my story. This always was my life. This was the way that the universe experienced through David Ryan. And that David Ryan's just the name they gave me. It's still not who I am. So really, it's like nothing means anything. And it's fearful to think that, but I think when you start getting to the honesty of your core, you really know that's what's true. Nothing really matters. So if you're willing to step on another person to make your life better, go for it, because I'm that person that you stepped on. And this is how a lifetime of that happening over and over and over again, this is how people like me respond to it. We're just like, I'm not going to hurt someone. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to exit. I'm going to take my free will, and I'm going to say, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to hurt anyone. So I'm just going to exit. Now, of course, there's going to be recourse. People will be like, oh, he committed suicide, or he did this, and it's sad, and it's all that. But still, it's a fucking act, man. People are fake. They think they have to do acts of service to feel good about themselves. Me leaving is entirely my choice, my responsibility. And the same way that I overcame the wrong done to me, anyone can overcome whatever effect they say happens to their life because of something else. I just decided I don't want to continue to live like that, because that's all it's ever going to be, is another boxing match of humanity. It's a fight that I don't want to fight. In my last attempt, man, I was so close. I was going to get to Colorado. I really thought I was. And then I get my paycheck and it's $40, and that just stops it. And I don't want to live in Oklahoma any longer. But then maybe I wouldn't want to live in Colorado either. And at this point, I think I'm just rambling. But really what I wanted to do was record my thoughts as a summary of my life. And I want to say, to my son, I want to say that I didn't, this wasn't what I thought was going to happen. It wasn't my purpose. It wasn't my plan. It was not my intention. I had a sincere heart to do what was right. And, it's trial and error. You have to figure it out. You're not always right, even though you're sincere about it. So I learned, but the learning never brought anything. I don't have more time with you because I learned, because I forgave, and because I became a good person like Christianity taught. None of that happened. So you start losing faith in things that you ever knew. And that's when I woke up and I realized who I really am. It wasn't any of those things. It's something different. And that person is the one talking in this video, which is why most of what I'm saying is very observative. So all that is to say that after 27 years of living, I have no motivation to do 27 more. Just think about that. I don't even want to. I just don't want to make the wrong choice. But at the same time, eventually you just have to find a way to make a decision and stick to it, regardless what it is. And this may be the decision I make. If so, I'm too egotistical, I guess, in a way, to go out without making a video or saying this is what I want to say before I go. And what I want to say is to people like Lindsay who want to just not fucking talk to you because something went wrong, that's bullshit. It's wrong. That's not how you treat people. To people like Alicia who think they think they deserve everyone's attention because their lack of security in themselves, it's wrong. To people like my dad who always want to blame everybody else except for themselves, it's wrong. To people like Brittany who think they can take other people's children away just because they want the relationship didn't go the way that they wanted it to. That's wrong. It was never your kid. It was our kid. And you took him from his dad. Like, who do you think you are? It's wrong. All these corporations trying to squeeze out another penny at the expense of your employees. That's wrong. Again, who do you think you are? But they've instilled fear into an entire generation, entire culture, so people think they have to work. But it's like, what are you so afraid of? They don't fucking own you. They don't own me. I'm about to show you how much they do and don't own me. And it's the same for you. The only difference is whether you're conscious of that or not. And that's the biggest battle I ever fought. For some people, though, they catch this and they wake up and they do want to continue to live because they're in a very pleasant flow of life. Mine's just not so pleasant. It's just I feel like I'm in debt to the universe. And I don't know that I want to get out and work all my life just to survive, just to eat another meal, just to maybe go on another trip, to get my heart broken again by some insecure female who thinks that she deserves all the attention in the world just because that's what she saw in a Disney movie. Like, no, that's real. And I don't know why we even want it to be real. So I put a lot of characters on, but this is the naked me. This is who I was trying. This is where that came from. It came from this person. This is the sincerest part of me. So when I would put on like a character for my Snapchat or for work, it was from this. I was dressed it up in real substance. It wasn't that I was being fake. I was just being what I thought they wanted. I was being what I thought my work wanted. Because you got to be customer service, and you can't really be human because that could affect them making your money. It's professionalism. What are you talking about? Everyone knows that, right? So yeah, let someone else spit on you because you got to make money. It's just not worth it to me. So I don't know how to say goodbye, so maybe I won't say goodbye. Maybe I'll just say, take whatever you can from my life to benefit yours. Because to some people, death is a peaceful exit and it's a benefit. And we haven't seen that yet. We don't recognize that yet because we're so busy striving to live. Don't ever stop to think about the quality of what we're doing. I did, though. And I was disgusted with what I saw once I finally took time to look beyond the mechanism of culture, the robotic lifestyle. And I'm not a robot. I'm a human manifested form of the universe. So if you think I'm going to work the rest of my life to feed your fucking dream and for a corporation to make money that they don't fucking need, you're wrong. And that is the freest thing I've ever done. Everything else was just misguided liberty, an attempt to convince myself that I was free.